Welcome to part 2 of my review of Bandai's perfect grade 1/72nd scale Millennium Falcon kit. Part 1 was an introduction and a background to the model. Now I'll go into some of the details that make up this awesome kit. So once again, the injection molding used to make this product is excellent. The sharpness of the edges is unsurpassed and makes most other Falcon kits look like toys. These are the two parts which make up the lower saucer. You can see the holes for the original maintenance pits, and you can also see that the extra two landing gear boxes built for Empire Strikes Back are missing. It's 1977 all the way. I can just hear the disco version of the cantina music. Here's one of the underside maintenance pits. All of the original parts have been recreated and in multiple sections to make accurate layers possible. A lot of the parts have fallen off the surviving model over the years. Bandai have used archival photos to replicate the original details. The original miniature didn't actually have landing gear, so these optional ones are modeled after the full-sized studio set. Note one minor issue: the landing gear discs aren't perforated on the sides. I've designed 3D printed replacements to fix this, and I'm sure others will too. Here's the detailed assembly manual. 60 pages long and bilingual, Japanese and English. Nicely illustrated and very clear to read. The cockpit window bars have interior details, replicating the original movie set. Lighting runs off these three AAA cell power packs. One slide switch controls overall power, and three others control separate circuits for the cockpit, the engine, and, if you don't mind being inaccurate for the 1977 movie, the ramp and landing gear. The battery pack is hidden under the removable quarter plate of the engine deck, which is kind of a pain. Still, there are other places you could probably hide buttons over the model. For example, I've made this 3D printed docking ring for my 1/44th Falcon and built a push button behind the hexagonal plate. Something similar could easily be done with the 72nd. The engine area is equipped with these translucent plastic plates which serve as light guides. They're very thick and yield a very interesting quality of light when lit. The original 5-foot model used a very fine window screen material called Cool Shade for the 6 round fan grills and the neck of the cockpit. Bandai have approximated this using finely etched metal sheet. You also have the choice of plastic parts if you want to avoid glue. There are gazillions of tiny decals modeled after the original miniature. A handful have been modified for trademark reasons. And here's the massive decal application chart. The seated figures are quite detailed, but have weird ramrod postures. No idea why Bandai keeps doing that. Model figures should look like they're doing something, not just sitting there like the teachers told them off. Sadly, there were no standing figures owing to licensing issues with Lucasfilm. The cockpit back wall is clear plastic and serves as a light pipe. The idea is to put decals over it or paint. Sadly, the sidewall, though covered in awesome detailing, is solid black plastic and can't be easily lit. Note also one strange error. Despite the exterior of the ship being of 1977 vintage, the cockpit interior is modeled after the Empire Strikes Back cockpit of 1980. You'd have to make a few changes to get 100% accuracy. The cockpit tunnel is also filled with brackets for the LEDs, so if you want an open cockpit door, as it was all the way through Episode 4, you'll have to perform a ton of plastic surgery. Realistic battle damage, for the top of the saucer anyway. Other damage isn't included, most notably the hole in the starboard docking ring. Of course, you can cut this hole with a knife, and I'm working on a 3D print as another way to do it. The boarding ramp has two interchangeable parts, either a cover plate for flight mode or the ramp in down mode. The hydraulic pistons are molded into the ramp sidewalls and so can't be mechanized. So, does this model live up to its name? Is it truly perfect? Well, by definition, nothing can ever be perfectly perfect, but this thing is pretty close. It's probably the most accurate and detailed model of a fantasy spaceship ever commercially produced. In fact, I'd say the worst thing about it is you don't have to do much work to get an amazing model. There are only a few minor drawbacks, so you won't need tons of styrene sheet, 3D printed parts, and etched brass frets to make it perfect. You just need to snap it together and paint it, basically. There's more of an opportunity for dioramas. For example, here are a couple details I've made for building your own Docking Bay 94 scene. So, to summarize, is this kit expensive? Yes. Is it a pain to buy outside Japan at the moment? Yes. But this kit simply has no competition, and I really don't see any other manufacturer ever producing a model like this. The research and pre-production costs must have been quite high. So what's next? Well, we don't know at this stage, as Bandai have stated that this is meant to be a limited edition product, but they haven't said how many they'll make, and whether or not the obvious sequel, an Empire Strikes Back version with 5 landing gear boxes, will one day be released. Only time will tell. And now I'll let you admire the styrene wonderland of parts that is the Bandai 1/72nd perfect grade Millennium Falcon. For those who have been paying attention all the way through, you may be wondering when part 3 of this video will be hitting newsstands and fashionable viewing establishments. Well, the answer is quite a long time from now. I have other projects on the go, and this one unfortunately has to take a back burner. In the meantime, I hope this video has been useful for you, and thanks for watching.